So we're here to talk about my 2023 KRX ES has finally reached 1,000 miles. And it is not just any 1,000 miles, it is 1,000 brutally rough, rock crawling, arrogant miles. So we're gonna go over the dislikes and likes and the pros and cons of the car. So, portals. I get this question all the time. What is the pros and cons of running portals? So, I have been running a portaled car. This is my first portaled car for 1,000 miles. And I think for what I do, I'm never getting rid of portals. I'll have portals on every car unless something changes in the future. I love the gear reduction. I love everything else. So it's a very big love-hate relationship, and I understand why. So the biggest cons on portals would be steering is horrible. It steers like a school bus. It's arrogant. It's hard on the rack. It's hard on this tie rods. It's hard on ball joints. It's just hard on everything. The biggest issue I've had with my car in 1,000 miles is steering. I've had nothing but steering problems since I've built the car. I plan to do all kinds of changes. People have talked about this, that, and the other, and how we should do this and how we should do that, and they would do it this way. I have not done much because I have big plans. I have in my head what I want to do, build my own. It'll be a full hydro, but it's not going to be like anything else on the market. So I'm hoping that my brain laying in bed at night can put that on scratch paper so that it can be done. So we've only ran 2 sets of tires on this car in 1,000 miles. We ran the 35-inch Rockzilla and we ran this 37-inch OBOR. Hands down, you just can't beat a Rockzilla for what we do. But when Rockzilla stepped up to the 37 and went to a 17-inch wheel, I thought it was BS because I did not want to waste more money on more wheels. So I kind of just bit my tongue and waited for a company to come out with something that would stay with the 15. Now that I have broken in my OBORs, I definitely think they are 80% as equivalent to as good in the rocks as the Zilla. There's nothing that this car has done with Zillas that it has not done on the OBORs. That's every obstacle from Sand Hollow to Vernal area to Moab. It's all done the same thing, and I'm very confident in both sets of tires. I don't think one is truly better than the other. Price is also a big change. You know, the 37-inch OBOR rock scraper is definitely cheaper. The issues I've had with the car at 1,000 miles. Oh my goodness. So I have broken upper A-arm on the passenger side. When that A-arm broke, it also broke the passenger axle. And I grenaded this driver's side rear axle shaft right before our trip to Sand Hollow in February. Just grenaded the cup, throwing parts everywhere. So when I built the car, this is not my first KRX. So when I built my first KRX, I treated that poor thing like a rock bouncer. And I learned a lot of what was great and what was bad. So when it was on the rack, we were building the car. We did the brute performance billet gear upgrade in the front differential. We did the billet output shaft or input shaft going into the front differential. We did the billet output shaft out of the transmission to the drive shaft. And it is all from brute performance and it has performed phenomenally. I catch a lot of crap for the wheels. It's not about that stance life that I get all the time. Now, granted, the car does look good. But with the big fat wheels and a 5+5, basically what that gives me is more of an offset for off-camber situations, and I really like it. Now, it does not help my steering problems. It hurts it. It's hard on the ball joints again. It's hard on the steering components. It's hard on a lot of shit. But No complaints whatsoever. It's a love-hate relationship again. But with the KRX having a selectable locker, what that gives me the opportunity for is I don't use four-wheel drive unless I know I need it. I do not use the locker unless I know I need it. And as soon as I'm up the obstacle, I immediately get right out of it and I turn it off. When I wanted a KRX four-seater, I wanted to be one of the first people to get one and truly build one. So I got this car about a month after it was released in, I think, June of 22. And I never drove the car factory other than on the trailer and off the trailer and onto a four-post lift. I did not want an ES. I did not think that I needed it. I have been running full-size rock crawlers for a long time, and I was confident enough in my experience with suspension. It was not needed. Now that I've had an ES, I will never go back, ever. Without sway bars connected, front or rear. And I haven't since day one. I didn't on my first car either. My first KRX was just a basic green and black, that we built. Absolutely loved that thing. But with them disconnected and the suspension set softer for rock crawling, man, it body rolled really bad. It was, it was pretty uncomfortable. With the ES, it gives me so many opportunities to change things. With the ES, if I'm fixing to come up to an obstacle that I know I'm gonna rub my belly, first thing I do before I come to the obstacle, I put it in firm. Now what that does is it doesn't allow my suspension, when I go up, it doesn't allow it to bottom out and clap really hard on the frame or the skid plate. And then it also gives me an opportunity to put it in soft so I can get way more articulation quicker and move down the trail faster. And if you put it in firm mode while driving down the highway at top speeds and you're cornering, it feels like the sway bars are hooked back up. So I'm beyond impressed with the ES. I will never go back. I absolutely love my Voodoo cage. Nothing I'd want to change about that. Haven't had to test it out too hard yet. Been great. Some of the other great things that we've dealt with is the SSS skid plate. I cannot talk highly enough about this company. Where it comes up the sides, it allows me to rub up against all these rocks and do all these different things that, normally you'd mess up a panel, break something, rip something off. We've got the radius rods from Inclusive MFG. Larry and those son, like those guys just are absolutely killing the market with radius rods. They don't have a Heim joint. We've had zero problems with them. I'm running the Rhino 2.0 axles all the way around. I've had no problems with them other than I am not running the bump stops in my rack. So time to time when I am turned fully, what'll happen is I do rip a boot or I'll wear a hole in a boot, which that's not the axle's fault. It's not the company's fault. That's a choice I've made to where I can have more steering capabilities and I have more movement, because it's just such a long car. I have the boxed SuperATV forward A-arms. The car sits at 130-inch wheelbase, and it's just been solid. So we're at that point now in 1,000 miles. My factory A-arm bushings are gone. They are completely washed out. I've had zero portal problems. I've not broke a portal. I've not had a portal seal leak. I've not had any problems. I just serviced them correctly. And it just seems absolutely happy. I've had no drivetrain issues. I've had no four-wheel drive issues. Hands down, it's been endless amount of tie rods. I did pull all the threads out of the passenger side rack where the tie rod screws into the rack. I have the Warren front bumper. I can't talk highly enough about that bumper either. That's one tough, stout bumper. I've pulled Jeeps up and out of Pritchett. I've done all kinds of things that it's not intended for. I did have an individual hook on to this. These are just here so that they're available, not to actually hook to. I had a gentleman 2 weeks ago hook onto here and it bent the bumper down a little bit. I'll get that figured out when we tear into it. There's no storage. There's no room for anything whatsoever. I run the SuperATV cargo box in the back. It is not big enough for a 12-pack of soda, let alone some tools, things like that. I usually have either my kids or I have other friends riding with us, and that puts us down to using soft bags for our lunch and a soft bag for our drinks. And you know, people are stepping on your stuff and this, that, and the other. So we're gonna make a big change there. We're gonna make a big change here. Unfortunately, this last trip to Moab will be the last trip you'll probably see this car on OBORs. So that's a little, we're gonna change up some things with our trailing arms. We got some exciting things happening there. Other than that, besides the steering issues and wink wink, maybe some rear steer plans soon, I don't really plan to do a whole lot of different things with the car. It's performed so well that I have no complaints. So moving forward, it's gonna be basically the same car with some steering upgrades, some wheel and tire package upgrades, some storage upgrades, which needs to happen horribly. I brake all the time, my friends brake all the time, so giving us an opportunity to have more storage is gonna give us the opportunity to have more tools, more emergency supplies, you know, our carnage welder, everything like that. So hopefully within the next, it'll definitely be done before our local UTV event here. So it'll have the different wheel and tire set up on it, it'll have the different trailing arm set up on it, and it'll have the different cargo in the back set up on it. And then the rest of the plans for the steering and the rear steer are not going to happen until this winter, unfortunately. But it's hands down the best platform. It's on the same belt that came with the damn car. I've not messed with the weights, I've not messed with anything. It's just been phenomenal. So I can't talk highly enough about Viper Machine and their gated shifter. I cannot begin to tell you guys how much that thing has saved my bacon. It's beyond worth the money. There's a couple different options for the KRX. I think both options are beyond great. I would also like to see something different with some seats. I put PRPs in my Jeep, and I'll be honest with you, they might have spoiled me a little bit. So something's got to change there. So in the next month or so, we'll do another video, kind of catch everybody up on where we're at, what the plans are, what the next step is of this thing, and it's going to be impressive. Well, it'll be a whole new car to learn how to drive. So.